Hello. Welcome to TTNT, Topics That Need Talking. I'm your host, Jess. Today's episode is going to be about changing your mind. Okay, so what I mean by changing your mind is exactly what it stands for. Changing your mind. Do you ever look back at your previous self, whether it was yesterday, last week, last month, last year, or 5 years ago? Do you ever look back and go, I can't believe I used to think that way. I can't believe I used to act that way. Or, wow, that was a previous version of me. And you're just astonished at how much you have grown, or how your views have changed, or that you feel as if you have become a better person because your previous self may not have been the best you, or the best at all. It's odd as an adult to really look back at your high school self. It's like looking back and going, wow, I really used to care about that. Wow, I really used to want to be like that. I used to lionize someone like that. But you look at it now as an adult and you're just kind of like apathetic. Or not even apathetic, you just move on from it. It's not on your radar anymore. Granted, yes, 4 years of high school, it's the end of the world to everyone. Puberty is weird. Hormones are weird. People are weird. You're still figuring out yourself and you're just trying to get to the next concert, but your mom won't let you because you're too young and she's not willing to go with you. It's just odd because you can't believe how much your mind has changed. And when you try to think back to why you were a certain way yesterday, you can't even fathom it. You just look and go, no, I used to always be like this. No, not at all. I used to be a very different person in high school. Majority of my life, I was never closed-minded. But what I used to think about certain things weren't always the best. I used to think down on my classmates mostly that would go out and do certain things. I would look down on them. I would never verbally speak out, but mentally, I wasn't thinking nice. I wasn't a great person in my own head. Then look at me now, and I don't think that about people who have casual sex. I don't look down on anyone for going out any day of the week. It doesn't affect me. Why should it? I just can't believe that I look at high school me and go, I'm so glad I'm not the person I was and that I grew into a better individual. And then I look at others, and it's so fascinating to hear how people used to be before you met them. Because you will never know that version of them. You will never meet them. You can only go based off their own stories. It's just mind-boggling when you hear these stories, even of your best friend before you met them, and you're just like, oh my God, I don't think we would have been friends if I met you at this point in your life. We would have been enemies, actually. But then they look and go, yeah, but then I changed my mind after an important life event. Or just meeting someone who persuaded them into trying something different mentally. It's just always how words are very powerful and how they can change a person's mindset or a person's heart or emotions. And if not words, then actions that happen right in front of them that will completely put them on a different path. It's amazing and it's frightening because not everyone uses that power for good, obviously. Look at dictators. Look at someone that either treats you horribly like a bully or someone that you may not like but has a huge influence on those around them. Not everyone uses it for good, unfortunately, when they should. And their minds may never change versus how yours is always evolving, growing, learning. That's the bottom line, is to always learn and grow and just be open to you don't have to accept everything right off the bat. Not at all saying that. To give it a try, to at least know the basics of it. That's important. And I don't feel as if a lot of adults do that as much anymore. It's like we're set in our ways. We're set in our habits of how we do things and how we perceive the world to work. That's not how it's always going to be. For example, it's like how a lot of countries don't like it when Americans come and visit them. That makes sense. A lot of people don't respect other cultures. They treat it as if, oh, this is just like back home. I can be this way, when that is not at all the case. Instead of actually reaching out and going to learn about their culture, learn about how does this make you different from you and I, but then how does this make you the same as me? We would have a better reputation as Americans across the waters. but we don't. A lot of people can put us in a bad name. You always have an easier time remembering the bad than the good. You can remember those minute details of when someone hurt you versus having to get help from someone in a story during the best time of your life. And changing your mind can be a scary thing too, because you are in the wrong and you're the only one in the wrong. It's scary to kind of go against everything that you fully believed in, mentally and wholly believed in, to have to accept the new way. But it makes you better in the end, as long as it's correct and it's not hurting anyone or yourself. But not changing your mind just kind of leaves you in the past. It leaves you behind and you're just watching faces go by as you stay completely still. It's like standing in the middle of Times Square of New York and everyone's just going around you. You could move. You could move forward, get off the street, but you choose not to. You're staying right there, just watching things happen all around you. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. People's minds change about a lot of things. Look at history. Look at how far we've come with that alone, specifically American history. Took a long time, but people's minds changed. People's actions made the difference of how our future is now. I wish it could happen easily and smoothly, but it won't. I just find it funny how people's minds can change rapidly and slowly at the same time. But never be afraid to open your mind to something. As long as it's not hurting anyone or yourself, try it. Change your mind about something that you were scared about, or that you didn't know about, or that you heard negative things about. I'm not saying always see the positive in things, because sometimes there isn't. There is no positive no matter how hard you look. And if there is, reflect. Are you making something positive? Or are you trying to make others see something positive? Don't be afraid to open up and be honest about yourself, saying this isn't good. Walk away. Change your mind about that positive, quote unquote, and accept the negative and learn to walk away. More people need to know that it's okay to change their mind as long as it's for the good. If it's for the bad, you're just that person standing in Times Square watching things go by. And that's changing your mind. You've been listening to TTNT, Topics That Need Talking with Jess. The next episode will be about 20 is the new old. If you want to reach out to me, I have a Twitter if you want to create a discussion over there and just speak to me and see my thoughts on any other topic that either you think needs talking or just want to talk about what was discussed in this episode. You can comment below and I'll see and respond to it, or like your comment to at least indicate that I read it. My Twitter handle is in the description below. Have a good day, you guys. Be happy and stay safe.